All right, what's up? We're live. It's Tuesday, August 10th. Let's see who's here in the chat. Looks like there's already a bunch of people. Sorry I'm late. I was just testing out the interview mode with the guest that's gonna come on here later. Let's see here. So Michael's in here. What's up, Michael? Joseph, what's up? Lisa, 6'8" Spindrift. Pablo says Coach B fans are definitely the Clover Nostra. What's up? Pablo's in here. Low work. Peter Mikas. I learned how to say that from watching Tar Heel. I think I said that right. Good morning. Scotty, what's up? Scotty made it in. Who else we got in here? Levi, what's up? Good morning. Um, it's Gingivitis. Coach B is going to be late getting as much dry powder as he can before open. SMJ, what's up? Co-creators in the house. Says sell everything, buy more clove stock, going to the moon. Tar Heel got up early this morning. What's up? Um, Dan's in the house. Let's see who else. I don't want to miss anybody. I know you guys. Looks like you guys were going way before the stream started. Dennis, what's up? Um, Yellow for Coach B or blue for Tar Heel Blue. Well, if I was gonna pick a color, I'd say orange is my color. But I know bees are yellow. Let's see. Matthew, what's up? Good morning. Justin's in the house. Let's see what's up. Who else we got? We keep going. Carl, Robert. Okay, I think I caught up. Oh wait, here we go. Chef Daddy, what's up? Good morning. Chef Daddy's been missing in action for a while. Um, oh, did I skip Robert Jones? I think I got Robert. What's up, Robert? What's up, Zeke? What's going on? All right, so just looking around, obviously Clove's probably the most exciting stock right now. We finished yesterday. Let me switch to a 5-minute view real quick. So yesterday was obviously a big day. Finished up about 9%. This morning, right when the pre-market opened, we did hit all the way as high as 942. Not a lot of volume behind it. I think it was like 40,000 in volume. But on the day right now, I know I've been kind of every morning around this time, kind of checking to see where our volume's at. Yesterday, I want to say we were somewhere around 300,000. Actually, that was a little bit later, probably closer to like 615. But either way, we're currently at about 800,000. So volume is picking up quite a bit. We just saw, looks like kind of a big spike, but really that was only like 107,000 volume on a 5-minute candle. But volume's picking up. Okay, we're starting to see some more volume pour into this stock. Definitely more than we've seen in the last couple of days, and we're moving in the right direction. It looks like earlier on we came down and hit as low as 891, and we're back above 9. We're trading above VWAP. VWAP's a lot higher today. VWAP is at 908 right now, or 909. So, who knows? Maybe 9 could be our new support level moving forward. It looks like down here there's a little bit of resistance. 6,000 shares at 910, and another 3,000 shares at 910. So almost 10,000 shares at 910. But it's still pre-market, so I'm sure these numbers are going to change drastically once we get into market open. Other stocks, GameStop's also up. I think $4. That's not much in regards to the share price, but AMC is ripping this morning with some volume behind it too. I currently don't hold any position on AMC, but I am going to grab a couple calls today just because I feel like this thing could run. So at market open, I'm going to grab a couple just FDs for this week just in case AMC pops a little bit. I can roll it back into Clove. But I do think Clove is on its way up too. I mean, we could see either one of these stocks take off today. Clove could be what would be any green is good, but if we can get closer to that $10 mark today, maybe even get past it, we're going to get really deep into that, past that max pain territory. And that video I put out last night, basically, I know I didn't pull up any charts or any options chains or anything like that, but my what I'm thinking is we're gonna start seeing major resistance as we cross every strike price. So, as we get past right now, it looks like we're gonna open above 9 if we can hold this level for the next 22 minutes. That would be huge because that's gonna put a lot of options in the money. But as we look at the rest of the chain for this week, at least August 13th, I mean, that's 12,000 options contracts, calls over puts, just right there at 9, another 9,000 at the 850 strike. But the next big strike will be 10, right? And then as we continue to go through, even though there's not a ton of open interest for this week's, if you look at August 20th, you see that the $10 strike is absolutely, that's 17,000 differential. And then after that, it really gets to like the $11 strike and 1250 strike. So there's some big strikes for August 20th that I think we're going to see some huge resistance at. But I really think once we cross 15, if we're able to, that's when this thing's really going to blow. If you look at the total option chain, this is on TRADYTICS now. You can kind of see what the big strike prices are going to be. So 9, anything where you see way more green than red, that's where I think we're going to see our biggest resistance, as market makers and short sellers are going to look to try to prevent this stock from moving higher. So $9 strike, definitely, what is that, 49,000 to 9,000. The $10 strike, 72,000 to 27, 11, and then the 12 and the 1250 are both significant. I think if we blow past this, that might be enough firepower in here, as the delta hedging would likely get to a 0.9, to maybe give us that push to 15. And after 15, my expectation is we blow out the option chain. I mean, a lot going on there. We obviously need the stock to keep trending in the right direction, but that's why I say the closer we can get to 10 today and hold that level tomorrow, then we have earnings and aftermarket tomorrow, right? And that could potentially any sort of beat or, just anything. I mean, bad earnings could be a catalyst. Good earnings could be a catalyst. I've already talked about how I expect the stock to get attacked hard right after earnings, regardless of what happens. Because earnings are going to get reported. We're going to see them coming in on the news tickers, and then the earnings call is set to be a little bit later. So you're gonna, there's going to be a little bit of time in there when the news is dropping on the actual earnings report, where I would imagine we're going to get attacked. But it seems like we have more buy pressure coming in than sell pressure to counteract that. So if this holds up throughout the day today, throughout the day tomorrow, I think we could really see some explosive moves coming in here this week. Let's see. Chef Daddy says, anyone talk about that theory that Tar Heel hitting 1,000 subs was work? Sent us into this spike. Yeah. So Tar Heel did hit 1,000 on Sunday night, and we're going green this week. So that could be it. Trenton, what's up? Good morning. Pablo says orange, ? Oh, see, I know this is something else. This is you putting in, but for some reason, I might even, because it's driving me crazy, I might switch up my software and get off Ecamm, and I'm looking for a different one that actually supports the emojis, because my Ecamm software doesn't allow me to put the emojis up on the screen. So I know that's some emojis that I just can't see right now. SRT, what's up? Good morning. Joseph says he's got his coffee, got my Coach B on TV. Now I just need to get the spacesuit on. Yeah, I'm excited. I know I might not sound like it because I'm tired. It's only 6:12 where I'm at, but co-creator says big candle in the pre-market. Yeah. You're probably talking, let's see, 1 minute. What do we got there? There we go. 32,000 on that candle right there. Let's see here. Rick says, can you look at the options chain on Zev? Yeah, Zev is moving this morning too. I was actually looking at that earlier. They just announced, I think, a partnership or a buyout. So it's an electric vehicle maker, if I'm not mistaken, and yeah, jumping from $6 up to 10.47. Zev is moving. And let's see. Here's the option chain. Keep in mind that these prices are going to be different as we open up higher right now. I mean, these are prices based on yesterday, and if you look yesterday, it was 5 cents on the ask. Nobody was even trying to buy it at the time, so there was only sellers coming in on the ask. As soon as the market opens, I would imagine, with Ivy and everything else, this $10 strike is probably going to be going for, let's see, stock right now is at 10.47 with another week left. I mean, probably for about 70 cents or something like that, just a guess. And you're going to see an increase in these. But this is looking to, I mean, there's not a ton of open interest there, so I wouldn't imagine you're going to see any sort of gamma squeeze or anything like that. There's like literally no open interest there. So, but yeah, there's the option chain. There's not a lot going on, but I would imagine this is going to change today. So, as this morning opens up, these deeper in the money calls like this, even this $10 or this 750 for sure, would probably end up being priced closer to, because you got to figure this was out of the money yesterday, so that's why it was at 15 cents. Now that it's in the money, it's probably going to be trading at roughly dollar for dollar with a little bit of premium. So, depending on what we open up at, this might be like $3, anywhere from $3 to $3.50, somewhere around there. Let's see what's going on here. Not too much. All right, let's see. Thomas is in here. Good morning, Thomas. Louis. Michael says, am I the only one feeling a sudden intensity on CLOV? I feel a desperation for market makers to keep CLOV in the low eights. Yeah, but I mean, I think it got away from them, right? I mean, they want to keep it at max pain, but we're at 9 now. That's not to say that they can't drive it down, but I mean, anything's possible. We've seen this stock have some volatile movements, but it really seems like the winds are changing, and we're getting a lot of buying pressure coming in. Running this stock into earnings. So I'm expecting more green today. I mean, if pre-market's any indication, we're definitely moving in the right direction. Scotty says, have to head into a meeting, starting a new project. Wanted to come in, say good morning to Coach and the Closters. Have a great day. All right, Scotty, have a good day, man. Thanks for stopping by. Star says, if we buy straight shares of CLOV today, how fast do you think we can expect 30% ROI? What is a 30% gain from here? You figure 10% is 90 cents. So let's just call it $1. So how fast can you expect to get to $12? I mean, your guess is as good as mine. The way I see this, if we get to 12.50, we're going much higher. Just based off the option chain, obviously the high short interest and everything else, and the FOMO that's going to come in with this stock if we get that high. So getting to that 30% mark, I think, is going to get you a lot more than 30%. But I honestly have no idea. I mean, I would love to see it happen. We have some decent earnings, and this thing just absolutely explodes. But it could also be something that carries into next week, or longer for that matter. Let's see here. Thomas said, Matthew, happy to see a turnaround. Absolutely. Thomas says, guess who's been sitting on considerable $9 813 calls for 2 months and may live to tell the story after. Hey, good luck, Thomas. I think you're sitting pretty good right now. I mean, I would say, regardless with earnings and everything else, I would expect this week to close out around at a minimum $10, but I'm expecting a lot more. Joy Deb says Clover Assistant now supports all FHIR enabled EHRs. Is that like new news that just came out? Something that just dropped, or what is that? It is. All right. let's see what we got going on here. So I know it's hard to read probably on this screen. I'll just put it here and kind of read this. So, Clover continues to invest in platform capabilities that advance adoption of FHIR. And now the Clover Assistant has technical foundation to facilitate integrations with all FHIR-enabled electronic health records, okay, such as Athena Health, Cerner, and Epic, as well as any cloud platform with centralized storage. Okay, so including Amazon Web Services, Microsoft Azure, Google Cloud, Clover has continued to deeply high intuitive integrations with each EHR and cloud service. Basically, we knew it was critical to embrace FHIR core standards as we continue to scale rapidly across the U.S. because the ease of integration will help bring the Clover Assistant to any provider, regardless of the EHR they use. Okay, so without like spending a ton of time reading this, what this sounds like is exactly what Mac Bracken was talking about last Friday. We were talking about on the roundtable on Sunday night. Like basically, with this Clover Assistant technology, what they could end up doing, and now this basically quote from Andrew Toy sounds like to me that their plan is to use now like basically use Clover Assistant kind of similarly to how Amazon did AWS. Like essentially what they're going to be looking to do is, you know, sub that out to other healthcare providers, right? So it's not going to be just used by Clove's health insurance company. It's going to be, we could look at this again. The ease of integration will bring the Clover Assistant to any provider. So other healthcare providers could end up being clients of Clover Health who want to adopt that model. So that's huge to me because that's now you have Clover Health, the health insurance company, and then at the same time you have Clover Health, this software provider, software as a service, right? The SaaS part of it, the AI, where it's not just being used by Clove, it's going to be used by other healthcare providers, and they'll at some point, I would imagine, start to pay Clove. So this is something we could end up hearing about in the earnings call today, tomorrow, as they talk about like the future, where they want to expand to, and also maybe something that we hear about on Thursday, when they go speak at that virtual tech forum. So this to me seems like very bullish news that could again maybe even attract more investors come today. So thank you for pointing that out, Joy. Sometimes I'm not on top of the news when I'm sitting here streaming, but yeah, that seems like some pretty bullish news, some pretty exciting stuff. Tim says 912, let's go. I know that's late, Tim. I just wanted to give you a little shout out. AS Petersburg says hello from Russia. What's up? Glad to see some people from all over the world in here. Mike says good morning. Woke up late. No worries, Mike. You didn't miss much. Especially, I'm assuming you just got that news right now about the Clover Assistant. Basically, what it's saying to me is, without reading the whole article, is one, they are going to look to lease out this software to other healthcare providers, and two, they have the software capability to basically fit into any cloud system, so that no matter what system any of these healthcare providers are already using, the Clover Assistant should work and have an easy integration. So all great stuff. DJ Tardis, what's up? Good morning. If we gap up, expect gap to be filled and good place to buy the dip. Yes and no. I mean, it really just depends what kind of volume and how crazy shit gets, right? Because if we look at the gap will get filled at some point. But if we look, like there was a gap here and we gapped up and then we ran up to 28 and that gap didn't get filled for another 10 days. So it's always, you know, as a kind of sense of caution type thing. Um, you know, yeah, you might want to wait and see what happens with the gap. But then you also might miss the boat. So it's really hard to say. I mean, you know, sometimes, yeah, right off the open, we might come down and touch 881 before exploding upwards, or this stock could just rip off the open and, you know, never touch that gap, and that might be the point that we drop back down to. I would hate to drop all the way back down to 9 if we ripped up to 43 or something like that. But yeah, but most gaps do get filled, and Robert, you're absolutely correct in pointing that out. You know, it's just something to be cautious about. The higher this thing gets right now, it may come down and fill the gap, and that's something that I've even been looking at in regards to AMC, because like I said, I am going to look to maybe grab some calls this morning, just some short dated, cheap ones, just to you know, be a part of this explosion. If AMC pops today too, get a little bit more dry powder to throw back into CLOV. But same thing. We got a significant, really significant gap here. AMC's up almost 10% right now. So yeah, let's see. All right, Mr. Joe's pointing out the same news. Picked up some Fisker options last week, which are in the money, but with the December expiration. Is it worth holding those in your opinion, or cashing out given it's up 20% after hours? So if you're deep in the money with them, you're at some point you're not really getting too much time premium. So, and we're getting close to the open. So let me just pull this up real quick. So if you're looking at December, and yeah, it's up $2. So just to get an example, let's say you were sitting on the $15 strike and the stock closed at 1503 yesterday. You were basically, yeah, looking at $2.71 in extrinsic value, meaning this is all time premium, right? I mean, you're paying, you're getting extra, so you're likely going to have, because it's so far out, at least $2 in time premium. So it's really just a matter of, do you feel like, just assuming you have the $15 call, that means today you're going to open um, up that difference in price. So another $2.80 plus this 270 is 550, and still about 270 of that is going to be extrinsic value. So that's what's going to decrease as we move closer to December. I don't know much about Fisker, so it's hard for me to say whether or not you should sell that. You know, I don't know if you think it's going to keep running or anything along those lines, but just know that the closer, right now, you still hold, even though you're in the money, you still hold some extra time premium that is going to whittle away as we get closer and closer to December. Franklin, what's up? Good morning. Coach B, your luck has changed. I could just feel our baby Clove wanting to take off. Yeah. So I've been red for a while now. But I was streaming when we had the first run up. So, you know, maybe I'm only good for the really big green days. Narwhal, what's up? Good morning. Robert Jones says if we break 10, we're going to 13. I love that. Genetic Nate, good morning. What's up? Levi's in the house. If we're up already, just want to see how it goes when coach gets ready to sign off. Yeah, no shit. Every time, if you're new in here, every time I sign off, that's when the stock really goes crazy. Let's see here. I'm gonna try to catch up real quick. So I am gonna have a guest on here today too. Godfather, let's see. He says, why are short hedges letting Clove go up? I think they short after earnings hard. Yeah, I think they're gonna attack the shit out of this stock on Wednesday. I really do, on Wednesday and after hours. But it just depends how much buy pressure we have to counteract that. You know, and any sort of drop is just gonna be a knee jerk reaction. You figure, just be prepared for it, right? So as soon as earnings come out, they're going to hit the hell out of the stock, and they're going to want us retail to kind of have this reaction like, oh my God, what's happening? You know, earnings must have been bad, and start selling. And they're going to be able to pick out something negative out of the earnings report to blast and create FUD with. But at the end of the day, you know, this is an undervalued stock. So even at $10, the stock is way undervalued. So Just be prepared for it and know that a lot of times it might drop instantaneously, maybe over like 10, 15 minutes, maybe over an hour, but it's more than likely going to pull back before pre-market the next morning. That's my thoughts, at least. Let's see here. Just trying to catch up. Sorry, guys. DJ says another suggestion for the fourth ticker today. AHPI up 20%. Okay. Let me see. AHPI. Oh, yeah, that one's running too. There we go. And if you guys want to see something else, let me know. I'll put whatever we want. I kind of got it backwards though. Let me turn AMC over here because I'm going to leave AMC on today, and then I'll throw AHPI on the right. Anyone who's new, my two biggest positions are CLOV and GameStop, so I usually leave those two up here. Right now we're looking at 5-minute candles on. We got 1-minute candles up. Let me go back to ones. There we go. 1-minute candles on both. And AMC is a play that I'm going to jump into today. And then this one, I usually just leave it up to you guys, whatever you want to see. Call it out. Let's see here. Let me try to catch up. We're 1 minute away from the open. Star says Russia, Alaska, England, wherever you are, hit the like button. John Collins in the house, or Callens, my bad. Where we at? Chiron, what's up? It says we're in the building. Kick that knowledge. Kaiser Sose, what's up? Lisa, I don't know if I said good morning already, but thank you for joining in. And Freaks in the house. Let's see here. I'm just trying to catch up, guys. Danny, good morning. Would you please explain the reaction of the option chains of August 13th and 20th if a gamma squeeze would happen? Yes. Let me star that, and we'll get back to that in a second. Kevin says, thanks for keeping me in the stock. I know I said it in the Discord the other night too, but really doing these streams has been keeping me in the stock. Well, we look like we're getting that gap fill that you pointed out. So it's potentially we could come down and tap that real quick. Let's see here. Where's AMC's taking that little dip right now? I am going to jump in and grab my AMC calls that I was talking about. Sorry, guys. Give me 1 second. Let me just get my AMC calls going real quick. I want to make sure I grab these before this stock turns around. Where are we at? August 13th. All right. I'm in. Okay. Now that we got past that. So yeah, Kevin, I know I said for me basically doing this keeps me the same way. It's been keeping me sane, and it's been fun, and being able to sit here with the same, I mean, it's like the same faces every morning, even though I can't see your face. Sometimes, your avatars or just your names, and chopping it up with you guys in the chat. It's the same thing. It keeps me sane and keeps me in this stock too. Let's see. Kaiser Sose said the T35 on those 19 million FTDs is somewhere around the end of this week. Any thoughts? Yeah, so I'll get into that one first. And then actually, I am going to have a special guest on today from the CLOV subreddit that's been doing some DD specifically about FTDs and has his own theory. So he's going to come on and talk about that, I think, in about 30 minutes or so. So that should be pretty fun. But basically with these T30, it's only T35 if it's a market maker, right? So market makers are allowed 35 days to come up with those FTDs. So if, let's just say, those 19 million FTDs were taken on by a market maker in chunks, or however you want to do it, or different market makers or whatever, as a naked short position, they would then have 35 days to end up coming back and buying those. If it was a hedge fund that took on that position, they would get 21 days. So it really just depends who, basically took on that short position and has to come up with the shares. It could have been a T21, but the fact that we haven't seen any explosive movement would make me think that T35 is probably the case. Sorry if I'm skipping through the chat a little bit because I'm just trying to catch up. Big Daddy Roro, what's up? Michael, ready to buy more. Michael's been buying more every morning. Luke Star says, long time listener, first time poster. Coach, check out FULC. Let me see here. FULC. Oh, yeah, shit. That's another one running right now. Let me zoom in on that a little bit. All right. And Freak says, don't forget to upvote the stream. Yeah, absolutely. I think that helps get more people in here. So, and also if you're new in here, I am a little tired this morning. My buddy came by last night. We were having a couple drinks. So I'm a little groggy this morning, but I do this every morning. I basically get on a half hour before the market opens, and I was going till 8 a.m. I'm on the West Coast, but I just went back to work this week, so 7:30 is gonna kind of be the time until I get things situated. Caesar says you don't want to see our faces in the morning. I feel the same way. But I usually, I don't know. I've been waking up with no alarm clock pretty damn early recently. Let's see here. Shrimply, what's up? Good morning, Shrimply. Rihan, co-creator, bought more dip. Let's see. Here we go. We got that real $9. Zeke is saying we're breaking through VWAP. Just looking down here at the level 2, doesn't seem like we got a lot of resistance now either. I mean, at least no big numbers like we saw yesterday. But I would imagine that'll change as we get closer to $10, if we're able to get closer to 10. Dave, what's up? Says Fisker's blowing the F up. My screen is so green. Let's go. Yeah, I'm glad. I'm glad to see everybody making some money this morning. My CLOV is up. What do we got? My BNGO is looking a little good this morning too. What's going on there? Looks like not much. BNGO's up 1%. We'll see what happens there. AVXL's down 1%. AMC's up 6% on the day. DraftKings up 1.8. What else are we looking at? I never ended up entering that Zoom play yesterday, but it does look, because I didn't have the dry powder for it. But Zoom is trading at 390. I think yesterday when we called that out, it was somewhere around 378. So $12 gain there if anyone bought any short dated calls on that one. BlackBerry looks to be kind of running a little bit too. Only up 1% though. But a lot of these meme stocks move together. So far, the market's trading pretty flat. S&P 500's at 442, which is right around where it closed yesterday. Let's see. Dave says plugs up huge too. Mac Bracken says integration with EHR is huge. This debunks a huge bear argument. Yeah, I don't know if you were on a little bit earlier, Mac. I had just said it's kind of exactly what we were talking about the other day on Friday. Like, this shows that the company's looking to eventually kind of get this, to me at least, that they are looking to use this as a software as a service and basically lease out this software and start profiting off the software to other healthcare providers. So I think this was huge news, and hopefully we'll hear about some of this as they give us guidance moving forward. Are you in SoCal? No, I'm in Northern California, in the Bay Area. So, but yeah, are you in California as well? Mike says, couldn't Hedgie have FTD and later get market maker to take on risk so it could be a combo of 21 and 35? Yeah, but so basically what would happen is I did a video about FTDs and kind of how they work, and also on some of the dark pool tactics that are out there, that have been exposed really through GameStop, but they apply across the board, right? I mean, so basically, what could end up happening is, even if, let's say, I'm a hedge fund, right, and I'm short this stock, and I need to come up with some shares because my T21 is up, and now I need to absolutely go deliver 1 million shares to the clearinghouse. Well, if I wanted to, I could, make a deal with the market maker and say like, hey, um, let me buy 10,000 in the money call contracts. Because if you look at an in the money call contract right now, there is some premium attached to it, right? We'll look at CLOV, for instance. So with CLOV, right now, the $4 strike is 555. So that basically puts, if I was to buy this right now and exercise it immediately, my cost of obtaining those shares would be 955. Well, the stock price is trading below 9. So I'm basically paying a 55-cent premium, $55 per contract to do that, to get those shares right now without affecting the stock price, right? And then if the market maker doesn't have those shares, who would actually sell those $4 strike price if you don't own the shares? Well, a market maker would, for a fee, and that's basically what the fee is. So the market maker allows me to go in, buy 10,000 call contracts deep in the money that he doesn't own the underlying shares for, and exercise them immediately. So now he's giving me shares that he doesn't actually own, which is a naked short position. And basically what he got paid in exchange for that, for him taking on my liability, is, what we say, 55 cents. So $55 a contract times 10,000 is, 550 grand. So basically a bribe or a payoff, a little incentive to like basically take on my naked short position, because now he's giving me 1 million shares. I can go give them to the clearinghouse. That clears my FTD liability. But now the market maker needs to give those shares to the clearinghouse, because they're going to be saying, where's these 1 million shares that you sold to Coach B? And now market maker doesn't have the shares. So what's he got to do? He's going to come up with his own failure to delivers. And now he gets 35 days to clear those off. And they just pass the buck around. But basically what it's doing is it's costing all of them money, right? In that scenario, it costed me $550,000 to clear that position. And now the liability's on the market maker. And now he's either going to have to go in and buy those shares at a cheaper price than 955, which right now he could, but then that's going to drive the price up and cause a gamma squeeze. So he's going to end up trying to slowly accumulate the shares or transfer that off through another like illegal manipulative practice, right? They're going to try to drive the stock even further down before they actually buy real shares, because at the end of the day, they have to buy the real shares. They can't just keep trading around phantom shares. They need real shares to deliver to the clearinghouse. So we are heading downwards right now, and it looks like we're likely going to go fill that gap. I mean, it got 4 more cents to go to fill that gap down that Robert was talking about earlier. I think it was Robert that mentioned it. And yeah, so I would imagine that, if we do get down there and fill that gap, we'll probably end up rallying back right after that. Let's see here. I know I'm way behind in the chat too. Sorry, guys. Narwhal says Clover's for coach. And so, hey, guys, sometimes when I am behind in the chat, I'll end up skipping over some of these comments. I'm sorry. Skywalker says this is still a steal. I agree. Trenton said he bought some Zoom. Right on. I'm glad someone made money off that. I didn't buy any because I didn't have the dry powder, but it's been on my watch list. And I really think Zoom's going to run to like 440, 450. That's kind of my price target for it. At least my early price target is maybe catching some resistance in the 440 range. And if it blows past that, maybe go to 480. But just be careful. So like right now with Zoom, going to catch some resistance at 400, and that's kind of that point to where if it hits 400 and bounces back down like that 400 to 404 level and bounces back down, get out, take your profits. If it rips through it, I would hold. That's what I would do. At least if I still have my position, I would hold and basically look for the ride to 440 at that point. Which I know that sounds like a lot, but when you think about a stock like Zoom, if it's trading at $400, that's only a 10% gain. So it's not like, CLOV ripping up $40. That'd be a 500% gain, something like that. Kaiser says, I believe a lot of the meme stocks move together because they're bundled in some ETFs that market makers and hedge funds short the shit out of. Absolutely. I think that's one of the reasons. They create these baskets of stocks, ETFs, and then they short the entire ETF. And if all that's in the ETF is the stocks that they're short, they can manipulate all the stocks at once. Someone pointed out some great DD on that back in, I think like February or March, with in regards to GameStop. But I think the same thing still applies, and that's the only reason that you could really think that these stocks are moving together. That, and likely the fact that a lot of these hedge funds are short. Like Citadel, we already know is short CLOV, GameStop, and AMC. Jane Street's another one that's short all three stocks. There's certain hedge funds that are Susquehanna's short all three stocks. So when you have these bigger funds that are short, let's just using these three as an example, when the market goes down and they have to start unwinding their positions because they're trading on much higher leverage than we are. Part of unwinding your positions, unwinding a long position is selling off some shares. Unwinding a short position is buying back those shares. So as they start to unwind and cut fat across the board, they're going to end up covering in all three stocks at the same time, slowly. They're going to end up re-adding onto their positions at the same time, which is why you might see some of them get shorted at the same time. And then also the whole ETF thing, I think, is absolutely a part of it as well. Irvine, California, or Orange County. So there's an Italian restaurant in Irvine. I can't think of the name right now, but a friend turned me on to it, and I was taking a group of high school football players down there to participate in a lineman competition about 5 years ago, and we stopped there. We actually stopped there twice. We went there the second year too, and they had like an all-you-can-eat buffet, but it was like homemade Italian food. It was really good. I think it was something they just did like in the for lunchtime. But this place is amazing. I mean, it looked like it was like a banquet center. There was all these different rooms, and then they had the restaurant part. If you know the name of it, let me know. Otherwise, it's going to drive me crazy trying to figure it out. D says, Coach, let's go. Brooks Paris says, I'm in the East Bay. My mom is a teacher, and she just took a small position in CLOV. Right on. Yeah, I'm in the East Bay as well. No, I said that already. I'm in Pittsburgh, California. So, let's see. Speaking of naked shorts, they're attacking. Yeah, we came down and hit 853. Very oversold on the RSI right now on the 1 minute. It's probably even worse on the 5 minute. Yeah, so I mean we definitely dipping down right now, trending in the wrong direction, but we did have a gap to fill. Talked about that a little bit. Closing the day at 881. We did fill that gap. Now it's just a matter of us finding some support and getting back on top. Let me see here. I might throw the 5 minutes back on for a little bit just so we can kind of, while we're sitting here talking. 5 minute. There we go. And I'm going to put, unless anyone wants to look at a specific stock, I'm going to put the S&P up here just so we can kind of see what's going on, because it looks like it's trending opposite of us right now. Lisa says we're doing something right. Hedge fund intern presence is increasing in CLOV chat platforms. At some point, hedge funds and market makers will not be able to stop this speeding train. I agree 100%. Let's see. Trying to catch up here. Dave says gap filled. See, I know I'm hella behind, guys. Sorry. Ployer Fisker's popping, but a bit slow to focus on it from yesterday. Chat with Champ Vibe up $4. What other company gets good news and drops? Yeah, I know, Josh. That's just, I mean, that's the whole psychology behind it, right? I mean, they want the good news comes out, they attack the stock hard to try to, kind of shake you out of your shares and scare you a little bit. And that could have been attributed to why we ended up dropping below the gap fill, right? I mean, they start hammering the stock, and some people get scared and say, you know what, I'm just going to take my profits from yesterday and walk away, and that's why they sell, and then that's what gets us to drop down so low. But getting into this oversold territory, I don't know if we even got that oversold yesterday. It's been a while. Yeah, we haven't been oversold like this in a while on like a 5 minute chart. I don't see any blue in here, so we should see a nice pop up from here, I would imagine. Looks like a ton of resistance right now at 869. That's about 145,000 shares, right? No, I said that wrong. That was 14,000 shares. It's times 100. It's too early for me. Sorry. One second. All right. Let's see. Dan says he bought the dip too soon. I hate that feeling. I bought the $17 dip coming off the $28 run up. That was way too soon. But really, I mean, when you're talking about down here, unless you're day trading this, if you're going long term, who really cares if you get in at 897 or 868? I mean, we're talking about a stock that's going to get up to $24 easy on its own merit without a squeeze. $30 without a squeeze. Should be trading for triple digits within the next couple of years. And then with the squeeze, who knows? Maybe we hit triple digits anyway. So at that point, what's a couple pennies? But I feel you. It's always hard to time the market. Let's see here. Low Work says give coach a thumbs up for his great DD, and Clover will end the day at 10:50. Yeah, if we get 100 thumbs up, we might end the day at 10:50. That's what Low Work's saying. 1 second. Let's see. The boss. What's up, the boss? What's going on? See, now I finally realized that when you're putting like you got this or cough and all that, you're using emojis, and they don't show up on my software. So yeah, like co-creator just did the same thing. Boss, elbow cough. So I just realized that that's what's going on when I was on Tar Heel stream the other day and saw that like the emojis when he put them up weren't showing up. So Rabid Yote saying, why is Clove taking a massive dump right now? Just getting attacked. That's it. It'll start climbing. It'll start climbing. It will for sure. Mike says grew up in San Francisco, lived in Alameda, retired in Alabama. Um, my cousin would be jealous. I have a cousin who's grew up here in the East Bay, and he's in Arizona now. But I know, and he could move to Alabama if he wants. But he loves Alabama. He used to go out there all the time, and but he relocated to Arizona. A lot of people leaving the Bay Area recently. Um, Badass Dads Cast, what's up? I haven't seen you in a while. Really hoping for any news on backed VIH mergers so I can cash these options and buy more CLOV. Yeah, VIH. I know we called that out a couple weeks ago, just how loaded the option chain was in relation to their float, and it's been pushing up there. Like I was looking this morning. Really, I think we just need to pass 10, and that's going to force a little bit of buying. Where I mean, shit, it might even just run up to 10, 50, 11, but that option chain looks insane. This was a play that, I mean, let me see, but 994, I mean, we're 6 pennies away. And really, if you look at this chain, this might not look like a lot, in relation to like a closed option chain or AMC's or anything, but this float is ridiculously small. And, 7,000 shares, 7,900 call contracts. That's 790,000 shares. Is a significant portion of the float of this stock. So, if this thing crosses 10, and there's even more now in September, and it's really loaded up even in November, and some more pressure at 15. So if this stock can cross $10, I would say anytime between now and next Friday, we might see this thing rip up. It's kind of a long shot, but for $5 a call contract, I thought those are the type of plays I like to make. It's a little bit of a gamble, but all this stock needs, I mean, you look at the volume on this is pathetic, 2,000, 1,400, but a ton of open interest in the option chain, and someone to come in and just get enough buying to push this thing above 10. And I think that one could really take off. At least that's the play on that one. Yeah, so the S&P's going up. It looks like GameStop's starting to maybe pull ahead of the pack and get back into this positive territory. It looks like everything kind of dipped off the open, and GameStop might be the front runner. As I say that, AMC's been the type of stock that, early on in the day, actually, shit, even as I say that, AMC gapped up. It's up 6% on the day. But, early on in the day, sometimes AMC might look like it's lagging behind. And the next thing you know, it's up 20%. It's just crazy how this stock moves. So, but it's nice to see these two in the green. I don't think CLOV will be too far behind it. Levi says after Dogecoin, I feel immune to 40% swings. Shit, I'm the same way with GameStop. I mean, I know you've been in here for a while, so you've been watching me. But yeah, it's these swings are brutal sometimes. And Freak says they borrowed $1.5 million this morning. I've kind of stopped watching the iBorrow desk just because let me take a look at it. So just because it's like, I feel like these numbers are so manipulated now. We've gotten to the point where, especially when we saw those FTDs, at some point you start to wonder, like, short interest was so high and it decreased and the stock price fell, and it was like, damn, you start to second guess, like, is this still a short squeeze play? I mean, I still believe in the company long term, but can it still squeeze? And to me, the biggest validation of that this was still a squeeze play and that the numbers are wrong or that we can't trust iBorrow Desk and Ortex as much is when we saw those 19 million FTDs, because that's basically all that happened with the short interest, right? It just got, instead of, legitimate short positions being reported where we can see it in, iBorrow Desk basically reports us interactive brokers what they have available, and this is what we're looking at here is we went from 2.3 million to 1.7, so 600,000 shares borrowed there. Or even Ortex data, which is showing that at the beginning of the day there was 40 million shares on loan, and another 130,000 borrowed so far in net return. But it's like they're only going off the data that they're being provided to them, and on top of that, that's only reported like legit short positions, right? A 19 million failure to deliver is not a legit short position. That means that you didn't have shares to return to the clearinghouse, and that's why you're coming up with this failure to deliver. So that's why I've kind of been shying away from using the Vortex and the iBorrow data at this point, because as long as we're seeing, I mean, that 19 million FTD number was absolutely ridiculous. I mean, in relation to the float, it's like greater than 15% of the float. And it's like that, it's pretty obvious at that point that this stock is so heavily manipulated. I don't think GameStop at its highest had anywhere near 10% of the float in FTDs. I could be wrong on that. I haven't taken the time to go back and look, but I've been following GameStop for a while, and I don't think they've ever seen that big of a number, ever. So Brooks says, almost bought a house in Pittsburgh, but decided to stay in Martinez for a better commute. Yeah, Highway 4 sucks, man. I'm glad, like, I live and work in Pittsburgh, so I don't have to worry about it. But Highway 4 is miserable. So you're hella close then if you're in Martinez. Justin says 9 felt so good. I don't want to see 8 anymore. Nah, I feel you, man. I mean, the positive here, I know we talked about it earlier on the stream, is we are seeing GameStop start to break through some levels. AMC is up on the day, even though the chart doesn't look like it. It's because it gapped up from yesterday, but we are, a lot of the same hedge funds and the same institutions are short all three of these stocks, including even like a BlackBerry, which is up 1%, nothing major, but a lot of these stocks have the same shorters shorting all of them. So as one takes off, AMC being up 6%, GameStop being up 3%, if they continue to climb, that just continues to put pressure on the same people, and that's hopefully what we're banking on. Dave says they're running out of ammo early. Can't believe they're still shorting with this groundswell building. Look at that $9 wall. It's not even showing up on my level 2. That's the one thing I don't like about Thinkorswim. I love Thinkorswim. This is my favorite software to trade with. But they don't show you the depth of level 2. They only show you the most recent orders for each exchange. So this is like the most current order for OTC, for NASDAQ, for EDGX. It doesn't show you the depth of the order book, at least not on my software. I don't know if there's another way to look at it. Target short sellers just bought the dip again. Anybody who's interested, check out Target short sellers channel. I can't always every time he comes in the chat, I got to bring it up. He's coming to us from Belgium, and he's putting out great videos about about CLOV. Also, while I'm at it, make sure you guys go check out Tar Heel Blue. He'll be streaming Power Hour today, and he's going all day tomorrow. Tar Heel Blue is. That dude's a machine. He's gonna start in the morning and stream all day long. At some point, I'm going to jump on there. I know he's got a bunch of other guests as well. And then he's going to stream. He got permission from the investor relations for CLOV to actually stream the earnings call live. So definitely get on Tar Heel's channel tomorrow. He's going to be going around, like, pretty much, not around the clock, but from morning till till after the earnings call. So I would imagine till 5 p.m. or something. I mean, it's gonna be pretty crazy. I don't know when that guy's gonna eat, but so that's Tar Heel Blue. Go subscribe to Target Short Sellers. Al Trades, definitely another dude you want to go subscribe to. He's been putting out some great videos, he's been in contact with Ortex, got some interesting responses back from them in terms of why the data has been so corrupt. And so these are all guys you definitely want to go on and follow if you're interested in CLOV. Michael's from the East Bay too. I thought, or you should at least used to be in the East Bay. That's pretty interesting. That's something new I didn't know, Michael. Um, once my cash settles, I want to get in on that February 22nd or 22 1250 call on VIH. What's a good bid? Um, I mean, keep in mind though, this VIH thing is like, you know, nothing could come of it. If you got on the 1250 call, it looks like, I mean, what the bid is $15, the ask is 20. If you wanted to, you could maybe throw out something in the middle, maybe 18 cents, 17 cents, but I mean at that point it just depends, right? You might not get filled because there's not a lot of volume in that stock right now, but I mean I just went in and bought at the bid, I mean at the ask, and just paid the extra um $3 I think for my contract or whatever. But yeah, I think it's got the potential to really explode. Um let's see here. Coach, what do you think of SRPT? Don't need to be on. All right, I'm gonna write it down. SRPT. Yeah, I don't know nothing about that one. Coach, you have to call in sick until we are green. I may end up staying on a little later too, just because the guest that's gonna come on, I think, is running a little bit late. So, um, we'll see how that goes. I should be okay though. Gunslinger just bought some CLOV calls. Holiday options in the house. Good morning. Looks like Zev halted. Is Zev still running? I know Zev was up huge in pre-market, but I haven't. Oh yeah. Okay. Shit, up 74% right now. I'm on a group text with some people that are really deep in Zev, so I'm happy for them. There we go. Kaiser says Tar Heel did a video and the max percentage for GME was 6.5. That's what I thought. So it's like, I mean, this 19 million FTDs is absolutely absurd. If this is indeed an attack, it's brilliant. Pushing it below 850 makes it look like yesterday was merely hype, maybe even weak earning whispers. Yeah, I mean that's what it's all psychology, right? But look at this RSI. I mean, we're way the hell down here. We're at some point we're going to be ripe for a bounce, and I would say, and I'm talking about today. At some point, we're going to bottom out here with this RSI where it's at. We should see an explosive bounce back up. That'll probably push us back through VWAP. So VWAP is a lot lower right now. We're at 880 earlier. I know I had mentioned, I think it was like 908 or something, but Joseph says power hour all day, talking about tomorrow with Tar Heel. Wall Street Bet Degenerate says that over 5 million shares were shorted in the first 15 minutes. Okay. William, should we cut out a CLOV? Nah, I don't. I mean, I'm not going anywhere. I know I'm late to this. I hope you didn't sell already, but nah. I mean, to me, and I'll keep repeating this over and over and over again. In my opinion, CLOV is worth way more than $8, way more than $9, without a squeeze, without a gamma squeeze, without anything. If you're willing to hold this stock for a couple of years, you're going to see triple digits, in my opinion. If you're willing to hold this stock, um, for the next 3 to 6 months, we should eventually end up seeing this stock without a squeeze, without anything else, get back to fundamentals, which is going to be what, 20 to 30 bucks. And it's really just a matter of, the rest. I think the rest of the street kind of seeing that, some of the Hindenburg bullshit and the DOJ, investigation that came from that is all BS. And then you'll see institutional, but we've already been seeing institutional investors. I don't even want to say that institutional investors piling back in, because they've been piling in. I mean, every single day we've been seeing institutional buying. So the street already sees it. It's just the stocks being manipulated downwards. So, and they can't do that forever. So it'll be back, and I know we're down 4% on the day. We could easily see this thing swing back and end up 4% on the day. So it's early. Stationed in Alameda from 90 to 93. Alameda closed down in the mid 90s. The Mythbusters were using the old airfield for a lot of their testing experiments. Let's see here. All right. Josh says pre-market up 6%. Now we're down 5% on good news. Yeah, that's how it happens. That's the type of manipulation. That's what they're trying to do. It's all psychology. They want to. Oh. All right. Let me see. I got the interview coming in right now. All right. So if you're listening, just call in to that same link and it should turn on. So our special guest should be coming in any minute now. We'll see what happens. Let me see if I could. And you guys I know the other day when I had a guest on too, I think it was when Mac Bracken was on, I couldn't figure out. I don't know. I think I'm not as tech savvy as I think I am, because sometimes I sit here and I try to do these interviews, and like when he comes on, you're going to end up seeing 3 people, and I got to remember how I got rid of that extra person the other day. So, oh, there we go. All right, so this is I think the first YouTube appearance. We'll find out in a second, but someone who's been posting on the CLOV subreddit for quite some time. Let me see if I could figure out how to get him on here. And let's see. Here we go. Ghost, are you there? Can you hear me?
Yeah, I hear you good. You hear
All
me?
right. So this is Ghost AF from the CLOV. Anybody who's been in the CLOV subreddit, he's been making a lot of posts, putting some great DD out, specifically to FTDs. Thank you for joining us today.
Hey man, it's good to be here, Coach. What's going on?
All good. All good. I mean, obviously we're starting to trend a little bit negative right now, so it could be better, but nah, thank you for joining. And I'd read that recent one, and you've been putting out some stuff regarding the FTD. So I thought, sometimes my gift has always been, being able to take something and read it, understand it, and then explain it. But I was like, you know what? Maybe you want to come on here and talk about it a little bit, and explain what we're looking at. So I'm gonna go ahead and give you the show. Go ahead if you want to start. Just break it down, and even while you're talking, I'll try to pull up some visuals on here too.
Oh, I appreciate that. Yeah, man. So for me, it started with I'm always looking for trends. So the first thing I started looking for was the green days, and it's funny to say, but they were rare. They were rare at one point. So I'm going through every single green day, and I start noticing every other Monday. Like that was the first thing I noticed from late May, June, July. So at the time, I started seeing what I could correlate. What are the things that are significance, insignificance? Like what's happening? Why is it always like this? And obviously, we noticed Thursdays and Fridays, we usually got ladder attacked. And for me, it made sense. It's like, look, obviously, the double M's, they love making money off expired calls. We all know that.
Yep.
At the end of the day, we know that. We know how easy it is to ladder attack nowadays. And we see it, it's just literally just dropping, centimeter by centimeter, depending on how large your screen is while you're looking at these charts. And so, a failures to deliver report came out on Fintel. And I decided to, do some research and figure out exactly what I'm seeing. And when I saw the failures to deliver, one of the things that stood out to me the most is like, what is, they're not done. Hedge funds, the whole people all involved, they understand, at the end of the day, what they're trying to accomplish. They have a motive. And my theory's always been pretty simple. They try and make money on the way down. That way they can perhaps get some free shares and go long and reverse course on whatever it is that they just beat up. That's my theory. It's always been. I've seen it on so many different occasions. And so, if you have money, why would you wait, see that something's taken off, and then try to FOMO into it? You wouldn't do so. What you're doing is you're waiting. You see what takes off, and you're like, all right, let's beat that up real quick, and then I'll jump in and go long.
Yeah.
So
Get the price down lower so that I can get the most optimal entry point, and then
why
reverse
not?
position, right? And then because I think me and Mac were talking about that on Friday too. I don't know if it was on or off the air, but kind of like, I mean, the whole name of them is a hedge fund, right? To hedge something is to basically take both sides and decrease your chances of losing. And so, um, if so, basically that's kind of my theory too, right? So they're going to hammer this
Yeah,
stock into the ground, maybe load up on call options or do something like that, and then they're going to start covering, which is going to propel the stock up, and now they're going to be the ones that got in at the best price and profit on the way up. Now, us as retail, for me at least, I just kind of see us as, yeah, we provide support and everything, but to some degree, we're just along for the ride, right? I mean, you got big money and whales who are moving this stock price. They're the ones who are coming in. And whether it could be two different institutions or hedge funds that are playing against each other, or they're working in collusion and they're going to move the stock price up, at some point it's going to go up and we're just going to be on for the ride. That's my take at least. Um,
100% agree. I agree. I mean, first things first, there's a lot of hatred and negativity when it comes to hedge funds. And I get it. No one wants to go through this, roller coaster, this violent roller coaster, if you will, and just visually see the effect that hedge funds have. But in all honesty, if it wasn't for them, these opportunities wouldn't really come about. You have to invest the traditional way, which that's what I started in this. When I got into this space, I mean, that's what I did. I was looking for long haul, and what can I do? I got a family. I'm trying to make sure that my money multiplies as I get older. And so a lot of people hate on the hedge funds, and I get it. I'm not a fan of them, but at the same token, these are opportunities for us to capitalize on. And what better a stock than Clove, from their mission statement, from the team they have? To me, that's why I first got into it anyway. I originally bought it when it was a SPAC,
oh,
and I
so
didn't
you were
know.
in at IPOC.
Yeah, I didn't know what it was going to become. I believed in Chamath. I did a lot of research on the guy. I watched a lot of his videos, and I felt in particular that there's a couple people in this world that you can just kind of tell have that oomph or have what it takes to propel. And I'm no follower by any means, but at the same token, when I'm seeing the way people are maneuvering, I gotta pay attention. And so I first invested in a few different, IPOE, IPOC, I think IPOD at one point. And that's when I first got in. When Clove went from like 12, when it turned into Clove, it went from like 12 to like 15, 16, and then kind of dropped back down. I bailed because I didn't do enough research on Clove at the time. I had no idea exactly what it did. I just knew there was some AI, some health company, etc. But I thought I found other opportunities to make money in the meantime. I was momentum trading in some, most of these.
Oh hell
And
yeah,
so,
that was a good time to be momentum trading too.
hey, let
I
me,
mean, because I actually I day traded Clove. Not to cut you off, but it's kind of similar story. I lost on that trade though, but I got in somewhere around that 15, 16 mark, and then
oh,
sold around 14. So I got it. This was back in like December, January, right?
yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
You want to know something funny? When Clove started taking off, I actually for their run, actually caught in the swing trade myself. Like that's what brought me here. I saw there was running up, put a couple in, dropped a little bit, put a couple in. And for me, sometimes when I'm momentum trading, I'll still down cost average. And then at the end of the day, or dollar cost average, at the end of the day, I'll also maybe stay overnight with it, maybe stay a couple days with it. And as I started doing this for 2, 3 days, I'm like, yo, man, I'm getting killed. So let me really dive deep into this particular company. Let me figure out what's really going on. And that's what got me here. So I had to DC it all the way down to where we are. I mean, I bought shares just Friday. I'm still lowering my median. But at the end of the day, again, what I noticed as I'm like really thinking like, okay, I like what I'm seeing. I like the corporation. I like what their, base is. I like what their, team behind them, Vivek. Come on, we all know this already. I love
Yeah.
what CLOV is. That's it, period, point blank. So when I'm going back and doing my research and I'm dealing with this L every single day in a sense, I started realizing the trend. That's the bottom line. I saw the trend. And for me, it's like, it's obvious to someone like myself. Now, look, I'm over here trying to put it into words and get everyone to understand what I'm seeing because, again, it's obvious. But when you go back to May 28th, May 29th, you go back to the 11th and the 14th of July, you go back to, June 30th, I believe, or I'm sorry, July 30th,
Yeah,
you
I'm gonna
see
pull it up
it's
real quick just so we can see what because I read it and I kind of know what you're talking about. What you were saying, so like May, basically. So anyone who wasn't familiar, so that's reading up on this, basically, it's that FTD list comes out right 15 days later. But and if I slaughter this, let me know. But what Ghost was saying was the last three days or couple days of every reporting period is where you're going to see those big differences. Correct?
100%. So, for me, if I'm trying to disguise what I'm accomplishing, the first thing I'm going to do is try and make it look like it's a dying trend. I always use that terminology, a dying trend. They want the squeeze to look like a dying trend. And again, this is just my theory at the end of the day, right?
No,
I'm
but I
noticing.
but it that's what I was like, man, I think he's onto something. And that's when I hit you up. Like, this is
No, for sure.
this makes sense to me, because if you look at it, especially when we look at the where were we at? July 8th, right? Was the big number of FTDs that came in. And then they basically, before that reporting period on the 15th, which is, anything prior to that is now that's the numbers that we were able to take a look at. And what they did is they tried to hide those FTDs and push them off so that when we got the report, we would see that last day, oh shit, there's no more failure to delivers. They covered them all. And that's what
And
they
it's
want to
even,
show you.
and it's even deeper than that in some cases, to be quite honest with you, because if you look at not this last one that came out, obviously on the 2nd or 3rd of August, but if you go back to, I think it was the 17th of July when the report came out. If you look, they went from like 5 million fails to deliver to like 3 million, and then down to like 1.78 million, if I'm not mistaken. Oh, you pulling up? Perfect. Now I can see what we're talking about.
So which date we looking at?
Scroll up. We're gonna go to June 25th,
There we go. We had 2
and
million
if you,
there.
So now this is when we start to increase in cost. Per share. You got 5+ million, then it drops to 2.2 million, then it drops to 1.7 million, and that's where the report ends. So what do you think we see? Oh my God, they're covering. They went from
Yeah.
5 mil to 2 and some change down to 1.7. Like,
It's
and they're
over. No more
discouraging us.
short squeeze. Yeah, that's basically what they want you to think. Like,
They're discouraging us.
yep.
And I said it on the first fails to deliver. I said, listen, the bottom line is we went from a quarter million to 250,000. I think it was June 2nd, and we ended with 1.78 million. So no matter what you want to see, the rinse and repeat that they're doing throughout the month, it's evident that they're trying to make it look like it's nothing. And
Yeah,
then
like
you get the next report, and we're at 19 million fails to deliver. And again, the 13th has nothing to report. You mean to tell me that? Are you serious? And
yeah.
and here's the thing. We got to look at when they're covering the fails to deliver, right? When are they reducing? And even up until the last CLOV fails yet to deliver yet again. When I did my follow up, which is the one you reached out on me on, you can look, like I already said on the 12th of July on my first DD. Is this why we saw a bump? Were they covering? And so when we got the report on August 2nd, I had to look at dates and I had to look at the prices, because when they release a price of what the price is and what the actual fails to deliver, I had to figure out, is this coming into the day? Is this what they ended the day with? So when I look at the price next to the fails to deliver, I can then realize that the closing price of the day prior is what they're starting with, which means these were what the day ended with the previous day. And
Yep.
so 19 million on July 8th, sure. If I'm not mistaken, July 8th was that a Friday?
July 8th was, let me pull up my calendar real quick.
I want to say it was a Friday.
What I'm doing right now is I'm actually going to go in and link your Reddit page. July 8th was a Thursday.
A Thursday. Okay. So you look at the fails to deliver. We popped on every single day, those get reduced. Every day. I showed trends on the 28th, 29th, 30th of May. I showed trends in July 11th and the July 14th. And it's obvious. To me, at least, it's obvious. That's why I even said this week, there's earnings this week. So as a hedge fund, can you really plan on ladder attacking it Thursday and Friday? Maybe you will. Maybe you're in a position to do so, but you can't plan to do something because you don't know what could possibly come about.
Cuckoo Bird wants to know if you have your own YouTube channel or if you're thinking
have-
about making one.
Man, I'll be honest with you guys, man. I don't have a YouTube channel. I've never even done a live stream in my life. I got a family of 5. I usually, am grinding 24/7 with the different campaigns I'm running. And, it started off where I was just, trying to see what my investment was and where can I go with it. And when I got onto Reddit, my account wasn't even working. I hadn't used it for so long. It wasn't working. Every time I would post a DD or discussion, it was getting removed from CLOV. And I'm like, yo, I started reaching out to the mods. Like, can you guys help me? I think we need morale in here. I'm looking at the sub and everyone thinks we're down and out. But truth be told, this is just a rinse and repeat phase that they're going through.
Look, and every time they rinse and repeat, it's compounding, right? So now you're seeing like failure to deliver's got even bigger. And if they don't cover anytime soon, I would imagine that when the next one comes out, we're going to see that get even bigger, and it's just going to keep growing.
100%. That's what you've seen for sure, is that at the end of each report, within that 2-week cycle, you're seeing that the fails to deliver were higher than the previous reporting. And I think that's all we need to gauge, because at that point we can see clearly they got into some trouble. Whether it's the money makers and they can't locate shares. I mean, we're talking 19 million on paper that we're seeing. Again, whether it's the MMs, the market makers, they're trying to locate them and can't, or whether it's the hedge funds that are naked shorting that just don't have a way to return it. No matter how you chalk it up, the supply and demand chain is messed up right now. It's only a matter of time. I always see these people saying, why doesn't Vivek do something? Or why doesn't Chamath tweet? And it's like, yo, man, first of all, earnings are coming up. They can't say anything. Second of all, why would you even expose yourself? You know it's going to play out as long as you keep continuing to grow. There's no point in touching base on it. If you show your investors that you're growing, what do you need to say at that point? And I think they're doing the right moves. They're bringing out little by little catalysts. It reminds me of DraftKings, to be honest with you. DraftKings did this. They started little by little, and every day it seemed like they're releasing a report. Every time they do, it took like 2 to 3 days for it to really hit the street, and then you would see a 5 to 10% bump.
Yeah, so DraftKings is one. It's just not to change the topic, but I don't know if you've been following. That's a play that I just got in because I'm thinking that thing, especially with football season coming up, and I mean they're acquiring Golden Nugget, and there's just been you're saying, just news after news after news. I'm expecting it to roll up to 80.
Talk about DraftKings. I promise you, Coach. I've been following them since I bought in at 18, and man, that was one of the biggest investments I made. Tesla, DraftKings, and Apple. Those were the three, and Amazon, the 3 biggest investments I made come March of last year, when it started off with the everything just took a you know what. I mean, bro, at that point in time, DraftKings, I almost went all in. I wish I went all in, but I was taught to diversify. So I was a little hesitant, you know what I mean, to put all my eggs in one basket. But man, I know almost everything you can know about DraftKings, man. I literally followed that stock forever. And this is the first stock since DraftKings that has made me feel this like tranquil with my investment. It's like you've seen all this craziness and you would think one would be like stressed out about it. I got a lot of money in this, but I'm really not even worked up.
That's what's crazy is my story's somewhat similar. Like, you said you got in when it was, as a swing trade. For me, I was playing CLOV as a gamma squeeze play back in April, and it didn't pan out, but so I lost on that specific play. But after that, I started doing my own research into it while I was, because I think I bought like some options that were 2 months dated out. And so I was in the stock for 2 months. And while I was in it, even though it was going down, I was doing my research on it. And that's when I found out about the AI and just how undervalued it is. And I mean, shit, at
I've
the time,
watched.
this subreddit was, I think, like 2,000, 3,000 members or something. I know it
Mhm.
was definitely under 10,000, but and then I found out about it, and I feel the same way now. Like I really, I I can give a shit that they're driving it down to 828 right now because I know what it's worth, and I'll just hold
the
on to it longer.
the conviction that we have in this community, man, I swear to you, one of the reasons why, I was a lurker more or less in the Wall Street bets. I seen the GameStop go from 10 to 20 one day. I'm talking to my boy like, yo, man, this thing doubled, 20 to 40, like, yo, and I would buy some and get out, buy 100 dip out, buy 100 dip out, and it just kept going. And the second I saw Robinhood not allowing you to buy, only sell, I was like, I'm out. This is crazy. And the funniest thing is I was on Wall Street bets and I was more of a lurker. I'd upvote, you know what I mean? But I would just see these, the jokes they had. And I'm a big believer. What worked for the GameStops and the AMCs, it was like you had an ultimate distraction during the market. That if it was getting slaughtered, you at least got the lost porn. You at least got the Hoyt hedge fund, is with my wife's, you got all this
Yeah.
funny shit that ultimately it was a distraction. Instead of you paper handing, as they say, you're distracted, laughing your ass off. I mean, I would read some of these shits and I would be cracking the fuck up because I couldn't believe how outlandish some of these things were. But it was vulgar. It was raunchy. It was wild.
Oh yeah, it was
And I think
definitely different because
that's where they went.
I was the same way. I've been following Wall Street Bets for probably like I want to say maybe 3 years or so, but I didn't even have a Reddit account. Only reason, because I was just lurking. The only reason I ever made a Reddit account was because I wanted to post about GameStop when it was starting to rip, and then I made an account and I couldn't, and because then there was all the you had to have certain amount of karma and
Yeah.
all this other stuff, and then so I made the account and I was still a lurker until shit. Probably like during this CLOV thing, I was on Discord and I sent out some information and someone was like, "Why don't you make that a Reddit post?" And I'm like, I've never really posted on Reddit." They're like, "Nah, just go make a post." And so I wrote the post up, and I mean, I think it got like 500-600 upvotes or something. And then after that, I started posting a little bit more. But yeah,
I mean, you
not
know what it is, coach. We're old school, man. Like I can tell you for days. I got everyone that I know is probably tired of hearing about Clove. I've broken down every single aspect, and it is a no-brainer to me that in May, I keep saying May of next year, and the only reason I keep saying that is because at that point you have open enrollment coming in October or whatnot. You have a whole quarter of being able to show you got double the amount of counties, if not more at that point. You never know what kind of moves they're making. Their Florida deal to me was like hidden. Let's hide it. Man, that's the second oldest state. We're talking about Florida.
yeah,
And the fact that they're going to be working with physicians at that, the data that they're going to start collecting on this AI, it reminds me of back in the day when they said Tesla self-driving cars. I'm going to be honest with you. When I got my first Tesla, I tripped out. To this day, I don't use the steering wheel 90% of the time. I don't use the pedals, gas or brake 90% of the time. I've never got an oil change. There's nothing to do on this car. I come home, I plug it in, and I got one for the wife too. That's how much I'm all in on Tesla. I invested a lot of money on Tesla when it was $4.25 a share before the split.
yeah,
This was March of, I want to say March 19th, if I'm not mistaken. But truth be told, he's already doing this kind of shit with the AI. And it's because back in the day, he used to charge you to put the cameras on the car. He realized, man, I'm messing up my assembly line. I might as well just give cameras on everyone. It could also allow me to start reviewing everything and map everything out. So it's going to get me that much closer to documenting these miles so I can prove that this car can maneuver itself. And coach, that's what it does. So to
yeah,
think that the AI on Clover isn't going to start getting more intelligent over time is ignorance. It's ignorance. Every single industry gets disrupted by technology. Every single one of them.
yep.
Health, that's the last one.
And
and
that's what
powerful.
my big thing too. That I keep saying it's gonna be a disruptor in the healthcare industry. It is, and I mean, shit. You seen that with the news today. I mean, that obviously to me shows that they're looking to start leasing this software out to other healthcare providers. It's not just about Clove becoming the biggest health insurer ever. It's more about the software. They're willing to give this software, and like Amazon did with AWS, like because what's that gonna do? The more healthcare providers that start using this software, the more data that the software gets
That
and the more the AI learns. And I mean, now you're talking about something Mac Bracken brought up, like maybe even leasing it into other countries, like countries with socialized healthcare. Yeah, I know he brought up Canada. I mean, the possibilities are endless. And then you think about all the good it's going to do because it's making healthier patients, and healthier patients cost healthcare providers less. So, I mean, it's just it's insane to think about, but you're absolutely right. It's a disruptor. I'll one thing I
it
want to
really is.
say with before we move on, and just with Tesla, you're talking about how you barely use the steering wheel and shit. So a friend of mine, I don't know if he's actually listening. Sometimes he is, but we're drinking. We were next door at my neighbor's house having a party and stuff, and he was showing me he had it like how his car could drive and all this stuff. And I'm like, I can't swing donuts, and I was trying to get trying to get, but he didn't even try. But I was messing with him, telling him that his Tesla couldn't swing one in the court.
Oh, it's real. I got a buddy who builds cars, man. He got Impalas. Shout out to Chevy Pete, man. And let me tell you something. He's a muscle car head. Me personally, I love old schools. The fact that I got it and I didn't touch anything, it's ridiculous. And I'm not here to sell people on Tesla, but man, it's cost effective. It's everything, man. It doesn't make any sense when people get some of these cars out there. When I'm looking at the cost of a Tesla and how much savings you ultimately have, it's no brainer. This man, Elon's gonna have. I mean, he just keeps releasing new models, and every time he does, his stock is bumping and the cars are moving. So I really believe with Clover, it's gonna be very similar. I look at something like Lemonade, right? And I was big on Lemonade. IPO'd. I was getting my house remodeled at one point. I went to basically an apartment in between time, and this was probably like 3 years ago. And my boy worked at the front desk. That's why I went to this particular hotel. And I'm like, look, I need a short-term lease, probably like 6 months. What insurance do I get? And he's like, oh, people are getting Lemonade. I'm like, okay, cool. I forgot what it was. I get inside the house and I'm looking up the stock, and I just Googled rental insurance. First thing comes up, Lemonade. And I'm like, oh, that's what it was. I click on it. Boom, 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 boom. I'm in. I got coverage. That's it. They emailed my team. I'm like, the apartments. I'm like, whoa, that was crazy fast. That's cool. So I didn't think nothing of it. I hear it's IPO and I hear this buzz about the IPO Lemonade. I'm telling everyone, they're like, what is it? What is it? I'm like, just trust me, bro. Listen to this. And
That
I'm telling them, I'm
exploded
breaking it
too.
down.
I remember that.
It exploded. Exploded. At one point, it was at $189. But here's the craziest thing, man. And I wrote a DD, a wild ass, not even, I guess, yeah, you could call it a DD. I love comparing market cap. I love comparing the market cap to corporations, and I love comparing what the actual revenue is that they're bringing in,
Mm-hmm.
right? And for me, I'm getting multiples off that. And I looked at Lemonade, and I'm like, just so I don't misspeak here, let me pull up. It got taken down, man. This is the funniest thing is, Coach. The reason I even have ghost as fuck as far as my login goes is because I was a ghost. I would write stuff, it would be there, and then it would get taken down. I'd comment, it would get taken down. And and I was on since 18, maybe 20,000 members. Even the mods were like, I can't even see you're a member. I'm like, man, it says I'm in. Like,
You
I've
were
been
getting
commenting, you don't
censored.
see this? I swear to you, I was really bugging out on it. I was like, this man, I'm on to something, and they won't let me show it. So when I recreated the account, I had to ask the mods to help me. Like, yo, you can see for a while. I don't know how else to prove it to you guys, but can you guys help me out? And blah blah undo and Diamond Girl, they were super dope and getting my shit, to be able to release what I was trying to release. And so that's where Ghost even came from. It's not even something I've ever used in my life. And I'm like, man, I felt like a ghost, so it only seemed, proper. But I posted on the previous link, man, Lemonade. The market cap at the time, I think, was like $5.5 billion. And I'm looking at their revenue, and I have Lemonade. I still have a lot of shares. What I like to do is I like to trim as I kind of go up, super small trims. Now, I
Yeah.
don't do the 25% chunks. I'm talking like 2 to 5%.
Yeah.
And when I get to the point of these shares are either free or my investment is reduced significantly, I'll let it rock. And I don't even care that, for example, Lemonade's like, I think $100 off of its all-time high, maybe even more at this point. But I'm looking at their revenue, and it's like, okay, cool. You went from 2.4 mil to 5 mil in 2018, 67 mil in 2019, 94 mil. Looks great. The growth is there. We're talking less than $100 million is what they brought in annually in 2020. And they're at $5 billion market cap. Lemonade does auto insurance, is getting ready to release auto insurance. They did a trial of health insurance. I say wait till they get to other countries. They started in Europe. Of course, rental insurance, homeowners insurance, and their clients are growing with them as they go from apartment to home. And it's for me, it's a no-brainer the long haul. But I looked at their market cap and I'm like, yo, what is Clover? Clover's the MA, Medicare Advantage at the time.
Yeah.
Who's to say they won't start to expand, obviously, when they did the DCE? Who's to say they're not going to start expanding in other like United Health or like Humana? And the same situation. They got the software just like Lemonade does in a sense. It's so similar, it's disturbing. And I look at the market cap of Clove and it's like, man, 3.35? We're talking they just barely broke 100 million in revenue for the year, Lemonade. And we look at Clove and it's like, yo, in 2018 they almost tripled that. In 2019 they're at 450. Now we're almost at 700 mil in 2020.
Yeah.
And right now they've upped their guidance. I think they might surpass $1 billion in revenue this year. I really do. Depending on open enrollment and how much they get, they might surprise everyone and actually hit that $1 billion mark. That's DraftKings money in revenue, and they're losing less than DraftKings annually.
I'm excited to hear some of the guidance tomorrow, and then but I also think that we're gonna see way better numbers in the next quarter. Once we really start to see some of this growth and the DC really playing out. But either way, I mean, I know we're kind of touching on it right now. I actually got to sign off here in about 5 minutes just to give fair warning. But before we continue, because we got like 5 more minutes, dude, I want to have you come back on because this is dope. So and it seems like you got a lot to say, and we could probably do this for a while. So, but nah, so like with the earnings, obviously we want to see less losses, right? We want to see more revenue, and I think we're gonna get that because we've been seeing the company grow. But really, I'm looking forward to the guidance, and I think part of this news release today, and them speaking at that tech forum the following day. What are your thoughts? Real quick.
I mean, I'll be honest with you. I'll be honest with you, man. When I saw a company like DraftKings add Michael Jordan to the board of directors, for me it was similar to like when they added LeBron to the Lakers. Now all these people want to come and play on the squad and invest, right? And I look at the situation where the CFO is stepping down August 13th. We all know. And there was a lot of speculation if they moved earnings from the 16th to the 11th, if they moved them or not. And I get the whole situation. I'll bore you to death with those details. But at the end of the day, I'm very intrigued on their earnings call. You have a team like Vivek, Chamath. These people are go-getters. To think that there's not, getting the dude from Uber Eats, to think there's not a person that wants to be their CFO is ridiculous. I feel like they have so many options. And I truthfully believe, I know there's an intern with Herber or whatnot, Mark Herber, I think his name is, from the corporation that they reached out to have a seamless transition.
Yeah.
But I think there might even be something special where the CFO, and I wrote this in one of my DDs, I think I even called it What's Up with Earnings. I think there's going to be some type of announcement like this, but I personally, I'm with you. I think guidance is more important than anything else right now. And I do want to see their MPA, if I'm not misspeaking on the 3 letters there. I do want to see it start to reduce a bit because I'm thinking with COVID being so low in the second quarter, and this is what we're reporting on, I'm hoping that they've, reduced that under the 100 at least and show some sign of like progression there.
That's
But other
the
than that,
MCR, I think. MCR.
MCR, thank you.
Yeah.
I want to see guidance. That's what I want to see. I want to see them tell me what they're seeing, how many more, what they project. Because I think that's more important than anything else. I don't care what they did second quarter. I care what they're gonna do moving forward. That's
Yeah.
what I care about.
What are your plans? I mean, we can all see it. Their plans are growth, right? I mean, not only on the healthcare side, but definitely on the AI side. Today was a big indicator of that. And they're trying to grow. I know you mentioned the Uber, and then there was the other dude from Palantir, and it's like those are technology growth
Hey,
companies, right? Those are
hey, you
hyper
ready
growth
for this?
companies. So
When I seen a woman in her mid-50s leave United Health after 16 years and get paid through shares, man, this woman looked like she might retire in a few years. Why would she leave a corporation after 16 years that's already proven to move to a new corporation that's getting blasted in every single angle?
yep.
If she didn't think and know from either them pitching her or her reaching out to them that this made too much sense. We have so many gems on our team. It's a matter of time.
Yeah, it really is. It's like they're building a dream team. I agree. And
They
you
really
know
are.
what? We're gonna we'll sign off with that one. So real quick. So first off, thank you for coming. I'm sorry I gotta cut it short. This is my second day back to work, and I'm
You
actually
good.
gonna be about 10 minutes late. So but 'cause I gotta go drop my kids off right now. School doesn't start yet. School starts tomorrow. Today's just a teacher day, so I'll try to sneak in the back door or something. Thank you for coming. I really, let's do this again. And I'll hit you up
Anytime.
offline too. And it looks like I've just been kind of paying attention to the chat. Tar Heel might be hitting you up to come on tomorrow, because he's doing
Alrighty, what's
that
up,
all
Tar
day
Heel?
marathon. But
Hey.
he said you got to be ready for some Wu-Tang because he's gonna be
Hey,
calling
you
you
ready for a funny
Ghostface.
thing real quick? Tar Heel looks like my fucking brother, man. I swear to God. I'm half black and half white. I'm one of 10. And I got a brother, a 5-year older brother. And I'll talk about it on his channel if he wants to bring me on for sure. I'll see you if so, bro. I'm ready to go.
All right, man.
I
Hey,
know you got shit to do. I'll talk my ass off.
Yeah, no, hey, but definitely come back on here, and I mean, shit, we could even come on
Anytime.
and just talk about other. Once we kind of get past this CLOV one, we'll just talk about other stocks. I know you're in DraftKings. There's some other stocks that I've been in for a long time, and
I'll go through my whole portfolio with you, man. I
yeah,
promise you.
let's do it. Makes for good talk on red days too. You know, you kind of let the
And
day
give me the
pass, but
strategy.
you were awesome. I appreciate it.
Thanks for
Definitely
having
let's
me.
hook up
I
again.
appreciate it. 100% anytime, Coach. Thanks for having me, for real, man. It's been a pleasure.
All right.
I'll see
All right,
y'all
guys,
on here.
everybody else, thank you for coming and watching the stream. Hit the like button if you haven't already. And I put Ghost's link in there to that DD he did. So definitely go check that out if you haven't and you wanna read a little bit more up on it. On top of that, Brooks Paris just said, and I agree with him, that everyone buy now, because when I sign off, that's when we go red. So I'd imagine we're gonna bounce out of this oversold position pretty soon. All right, guys, have a good day. Make sure you check out Tar Heel this afternoon in Power Hour.